Hello everyone. In this video we'll be learning about JavaScript proxy object. So what is a JavaScript proxy object? JavaScript proxy object is a very powerful tool which allows you to intercept or customize the uses of object in your code. What I mean by that, let's try to understand that by an example. So let's say I have an object called user which has these properties like name, let's call it John, and it also has a property called email, and it also has a property called age, okay, which should be a number. Okay, now let's say you want to modify or intercept the access of this object. So let's say someone is accessing the name property and then you want to do some validation on that whether someone should access it or not, or maybe you want to show it a modified information. For that purposes you can use a JavaScript proxy object. You can also put some validation on when someone is setting a value to this object. For example, the age should be only number, and if you want to put some validation, we can use a proxy object. So right now if I directly go ahead and you do this user dot age, and if I give it ABC, and if I just console log this, it will just work, right? It will update the user age to ABC. If I go ahead and run this, I'll save it and run it. You'll see that age got updated to ABC. But let's say if we want to restrict such operations, how we can do that. So let's see. So we'll be creating a proxy object. Let's call it user proxy, and this will be a new proxy. Here you need to provide your target object, which is going to be your user. We are creating proxy for this user, and then it takes a handler where we'll be intercepting and modifying our data. And this is an object, and this object has got two properties. It's called get, where you'll be getting the actual object and the prop that someone is trying to access. And then it has a property called set, which also takes the actual object which someone is trying to update, and then the property which someone is trying to access and set, and then the value that someone is trying to set. For now, let's just go ahead and add a console log statement over here. So let's say I'll add these two, and let's call it get. Okay, similarly we'll log here as well. We'll call it set. And for now what we'll do is we'll also add value here. For now we'll just go ahead and return whatever someone is trying to access. For example, here it will be just this, and if someone is trying to set, we'll allow them to set as it is. So this is the normal behavior of normal object. So now if I go ahead and do something like user dot name, and if I run this piece of code right now, sorry, I need to access user proxy, and if I now run the code, you can see I'm getting this console statement printed, where I can see the target was this original object, and then this is the property that I'm trying to access. Similarly, let's try to update the age, and now if I run the code, you'll be seeing here that the value got updated to 31. This was the original object, and this is the property that we have updated. In our case, this was age. Now let's see how we can modify, intercept and modify these operations. So let's say if someone is trying to access name property, we'll also attach a salutation, something like hi or hello. So if the prop is equal to name, what we will be doing is we'll be returning something like the actual name and along with salutation hi. Okay, something like this. And let's say if someone is trying to update age, and they are not providing the number age as number, then we'll throw an error. So if the type of value is not number, we are not gonna throw error. Age should be number. And let's try to test our code. So we'll do console log and user proxy dot name. Save it and run it. See, we are getting hi Jordan. So this is because we are appending this hi over here when someone is trying to access the name property. Now let's try to update the user's age to something like ABC, and then we'll print the proxy object. If I save it now, if I run this, it got updated to ABC. So let's see what's the problem. Okay, so what I have done is if the age is prop is equal to age and type of this is equal to number, so we should be doing type of not equal to number. And now let's save it and then we'll run it again. See, now we are getting error, age should be a number. And if I am setting number and then running the code, then it's working fine. So this is how you can use proxy object to intercept and modify your operations. So yeah, that's all for today. Do let me know if you like the video in the comment section.